to share some time together. No real updates of any kind other than the guys are love the focus, the energy. Had some great meetings last night, and just feel like getting on the grass. Hopefully, we'll see what the weather looks like here in a little bit. Would love to be outside, but we'll keep you guys posted on that. But fire away.
Kevin, well, this should be the first question after you've already talked yesterday. Who's your Johnny Munt this year?
Well, I would like to say we've got, all the tight ends we brought in were brought in with a purpose of knowing that we feel like we've got a really, really good 1 and 2, 1A, 1B in a lot of ways, depending on the down and distance sequence. I think, TJ and Josh you'd be hard pressed to find a more complete duo in the NFL of being able to occupy really important jobs in the run and pass game. With that being said, with Gavin, obviously we drafted him for a reason. We felt like we almost got another couple draft picks with how we had him graded in obviously Ben Jurasik and Bryson Nesbitt. So different players, but all those guys are going to get opportunities to play the Y, play the F, and that's really what Johnny was. He was that number 3 that could do both really well. Can we find a way to replicate that? Tough task, obviously, but if we can do it with multiple players and using different personnel groupings, we're going to figure that out over the next month. The hope right now is we're really just trying to get him to a place where he can start training camp healthy and the back's feeling better and better, but don't have any update on that right now and hope to in the next week or so.
What did you make of Jordan Addison's offseason just as a whole?
Yeah, I thought he had a tremendous off-season program. I'm not sure that, I can't think off the top of my head. He was basically in there for every rep we asked of him for the 8-9 weeks we had him. He's come back in great shape, great weight, truly taking his understanding of route running and not only route running at the top of routes, which everybody knows he's always been a world-class separator, but now he's really starting to learn nuances of, we've talked about getting off press and the physicality, but these corners are really good. They're really strong. We've got some really good ones here that are giving him some good looks, and he's getting to work his craft and understand, okay, I'm on the ball, I'm off the ball, I'm in a bunch, I'm in a stack, and how that different things. Maybe I'm doing things off motions. He's just getting so comfortable in our system. So obviously, I'm really happy with the type of work he's put in all off season. That was even on his own throughout the summer, and I'm expecting to see a great version of him from day one right now.
Along those same lines, what do you see from Dallas Turner this offseason? What do you think he made the biggest growth?
Yeah, he came back from the jump in the off-season program. Just his body, the shape he was in, just looks so strong. I think he's gained a lot of strength. I think he's gained a lot of understanding of the role and flow in the guys, knowing that we basically feel about it with 2 Pro Bowlers at the position, and to say that we feel like we've got 3 starters, we really feel like that, and that's a testament to the work Dallas has put in, and he's going to get a lot of opportunities, different personnel groupings, confusing groupings that even for me, and I see it on a sheet of paper, and then I see where these guys are lining up all over the place. It's going to be a really fun camp to watch those guys make that whole thing come to life, and how many snaps can we have them all on the field together? How many snaps can we see our true depth of that outside linebacker position show up? But Dallas has had a great offseason. I'm expecting a huge jump for him starting today.
Obviously, you talked a little bit about this yesterday, but you guys have proven over 3 years that the process works. The impression you've improved the team, but how much does today feel like the first step toward the ultimate evaluation, which will come 7 months from now, with getting over that playoff hump?
Yeah, I told the guys last night, I think by the down to the numbers, there's just not that much time as there used to be, and I think there's 20 practices, maybe 12 of them in pads, still being cognizant of being smart about the sports science. That's great, but we got a lot of work to do in a short amount of time, and put a lot of pressure on this time sometimes by handling the off-season program the way we do, a bunch of above the neck work, a bunch of guys really learning what to do, how to do it. So now when we get to this time, there's not a lot of grace and margin of error of making multiple mistakes twice, or all 11 guys not being on the same page, because we feel like we have enough reps on the core base offense and defense and special teams to go practice and compete. So that's what I'm looking to see, and we know there's just not that much time before you're in the grind of 17 plus, and only then will you know if you're worthy of that moment, and we've learned that over these last 3 years.
Speedy kind of mature in your offense now that he's healthy?
Yeah, I think, he had a great year last year. There's always going to be some plays here and there that you want back, but I thought just, the ability for him to step in early after Jordan gets the ankle against the Giants in training camp, to have the camp that Speedy did, to be able to handle what we asked of him, not only in the weeks that followed, but in that game against the Giants, to basically assume multiple roles. I thought that was really a precursor to what was a great year for Speedy, showing such versatility. But I look at how he came back, and he understands now after all those reps and a full healthy season, there's one way to do that, and that's have your body prepared. And he certainly did that for the spring. He came back, a couple days ago looking ready to roll. And, we'll see how these first few weeks look. What type of personnel we're going to have for those games when we get all the information on our group back, and Speedy could be a huge contributor early and often all season long, and that's my expectation. He's primed and ready to play a huge role in our offense.
Kevin, you talked a little bit yesterday about a more physical camp this year. Where do you expect that will show up in practices? How do you make that come?
Well, I thought last year, and I probably should have phrased it better. I thought last year it was physical, considering how our defense plays and the padded work, stacking some of those days on each other, and really looking at the type of work we're going to get in the joint practices. We've got to have a camp like that, and then you push, you gauge your team on a daily basis. We've got some players coming off injury. We've got some players that I know, whether they're new or whether they've been here with us for 1, 2, or 3 years, I know they know how to get themselves ready for what's to come when the season comes around. So there's really there's nothing that's not without intent. There's nothing that's not purposeful with how we prepare our team, and I communicate with them like that. So what I emphasize is normally what we receive in return from our players, and that's why I'm so fortunate to have this group here, because that's just how it's been with my connection with these guys.
I think you might deploy. What's your overall vision for deploying in the backfield the personnel you have now with Aaron Jones and Jordan? And I know things can change over time and when you see things, but as you go into camp, what's your sort of vision for how you'll deploy those guys?
Yeah, I think you can look at it a lot of ways with looking at Aaron and Jordan, but that's how I just said it is how I see it. It's Aaron and Jordan. And there's the running back position. I wouldn't go to say it's as nuanced as the quarterback position of reps, but you want guys to be able to get in a rhythm. At the same time, we feel like we've got truly a combination that will cause a lot of problems between having two great backs that are different body types, maybe different skill sets, but they're complete backs. Aaron Jones can run in between the tackles. He can catch the ball. He can block in protection. He can line up anywhere in the formation. Jordan Mason has proven already to be well ahead of new players in the system from a protection standpoint, and clearly he's got the body type to be a physical presence. So I really see those guys playing off of each other, where we can keep them both fresh, keep them both in attack mode when they're in there. And then I want to see, I think it's going to be a big camp for Ty Chandler from a standpoint of you can think back, whether it was Cincinnati in 23 or just different runs he had last year when he got in the game. You can think back on times where Ty Chandler has been one of our most explosive players, and he can bring that to the room while also still being a pretty standout player on special teams as well. And how CJ and his role in the two-back groupings, maybe we activate some two-back groupings where we've got Jordan and Aaron in the game at the same time. There's a lot of things schematically that we're going to try. And then as we get towards the season, what gives us advantages? What allows us to play the most multiple way? That all circles back to the number one question of what makes the quarterback's job easier and more likely to be quarterback friendly to apply to our whole system.
Kevin, what does Ty have to do to kind of get back in the good graces? I guess you mentioned he has had some explosive runs and stuff, but he seems to get pushed down.
I think when I think of some of the things that I'm referencing, it might not even be a play that fans notice. It might be last year he spells Aaron Aaron or Cam for a few snaps and has a great 6-yard run on a duo, and then I go fast on a tempo pass play and we have a protection issue. And Ty's a smart player. He works his absolute tail off, and my hope is that in a year where he's had a lot of experience, he's coming into a critical year for himself where we're going to rely on him. Can we see just consistent play across all phases so that, if whatever happens, those top 2 guys need a blow, I want to feel like that third guy can bring something. And we've always felt that way about Ty. I still do. It's just a consistency factor as the play caller for me personally, where I say I can call any play on this sheet no matter who's in the game. And I think I'll feel like that about Ty before it's all said and done. And I know I have before. Just want to see it as consistent as possible.
This is going to be C.J. Ham's 10th NFL training camp. What's allowed him to
birthday
be
yesterday?
What's allowed him to be here for 10 years?
I think right on the heels of that last question, different type of player clearly with what he's brought to our team, but he is the he's the hallmark of consistency. Whatever job CJ's had since his first rookie minicamp when he came on a tryout to try to make the team, and from that day forward, whatever CJ Ham's been asked to do, he does it. Doesn't matter the circumstance, doesn't matter if he's had walkthroughs, it doesn't matter. He's one of the smarter players I've been around. He's physical. He's got the ability, as you guys have seen when I've gone tempo sometimes off those third downs when he's been in there, he's put his head down and got us 8, 9, 10 yards going fast on a run play. We'll throw him screens. We'll throw him the ball out of the backfield. He is versatile, and I haven't even started talking about his special teams role, which, along with some of our other, true pillars on that special teams unit, he is a guy that sets the tone for Matt Daniels' whole group, from the meeting room all the way to individual to the practice field to games. So that's how he's been able to do it, and you feel very fortunate to have a player like that. And it doesn't surprise me every year you're counting those captain votes and CJ's name keeps showing up.
When you do get Will Fries back on the right side, how do you view maybe the reps or that competition between Blake and Donovan on the left side?
Yeah, I think you'll see it play out. Well, he's more than likely not going to take some team reps here early on in camp. You'll probably see Blake on the right side, kind of how we finished the spring, if you guys remember. For those that were tracking it, Blake there on the right side, Donovan on the left. Blake is ultra versatile, so however the reps work for Will, for CD, for the groups as we interchange those guys behind those guys, I see Blake playing as many as 3 spots this camp, and taking reps in every way possible, because we want to have the best 5 out there, but we want to have the most versatile, impactful 8 or 9 guys that we know we can go to bat with that first game and feel great about however it goes.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.